Hey, good evening. You're on with Big J. I'm going to give a couple of minutes for some more people to come in. And then we're going to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers and the Washington team tonight. I think that's important because what I want to do, I want to discuss what I said in one of my videos, and that is that the Lakers are not the team they were last night. Hear me again. The Lakers are not the team they were last night. They're actually in trouble. Whether it's Denver the first round, the biggest understanding is now they don't have home court advantage after losing tonight. They have to start the playoffs on the road. When I saw the disgust on LeBron James' face tonight after the game, and as he walked off, I knew that he knew the Lakers are in trouble. They are in trouble. Listen, when you go from winning a championship, then next year you change major pieces, you are putting the dynamics of your team in trouble. And why they thought making those changes and making those decisions would actually help them, I don't know, because it's not going to help them. It's actually putting them in a bad situation that they're going to have to deal with in these playoffs. And like I say, tonight, LeBron James, his face showed it. When he was disgust. Anthony Davis was on the sideline looking like, doggone, how could the Washington Wizards put us in this situation? No, they didn't. You did. Because there's no way tonight you lose to the Wizards. There's no way. There's no way you lose to a subpar 500 team. There's no way. And you're over 500. I don't know, but I told you in one of my other videos, the Lakers are not to be trusted this year. What am I talking about? Just what I said. You have LeBron the King, who's been out for an extensive period of time. You have AD, who is very passive as a player, who just returned back. So he's not in that position yet. Then you bring in Andre Drummond, who is not the best athletic center at this time in the league. So what you basically did, you set yourself up for failure, hoping that the dominance that the King provided last year would extend to this year playoff and the championship. But it's not going to be that way. The Clippers will come out the West. The Jazz won't. I'm telling you. So, but the biggest thing from tonight's loss, the Lakers have dropped, and now they have to start the playoffs on the road. Could you imagine being a championship team this year? You start the playoffs on the road. So that tells me that championship with the bubble, something was wrong because you have the same team now who are not dominant. You have other teams stopping them again. The Wizard is a subpar. I don't even think they're at 500. I didn't look at the statistics tonight because it was really disgusting. It wasn't the game I was expecting to see. It was. I'm telling you, it wasn't. And I could imagine what LeBron James felt sitting there. All that what was going on, it probably would have drove me crazy. LeBron got up after the game, hit the tunnel. It was gone. Woo! He was gone. In other words, man, y'all just broke his heart, Lakers. You understand what I'm saying? See, everything last year was new in the bubble. Then you had Rajon Rondo. Then you had JaVale McGee. You had pieces that fit with LeBron. Now you have pieces who don't even fit with Anthony Davis. What is Wesley Matthews supposed to bring to the table as far as the championship? Whose decision was that? Come on now, talk to me. What about all the other pieces? Andre Drummond was not the best person the Lakers could have got. They should have brought JaVale McGee home, bring him back, because his ability as a shot blocker, as a rim protector, he can run the floor and he can do all those things necessary, and he has hops. Andre Drummond, no, not so much. Not so much at all. So, hey, it's going to be a rough task. So, Lakers fan, you better get your self ready and get ready to see what's going to go on, because I believe, in my understanding, that starting on the road in the playoffs, especially with the COVID protocol, is difficult. It's very difficult. It's different from the bubble to where they were in one place. Now they have to go on the road, possibly to Denver, a different altitude, a different climate. So there's so many things that change right now. So they're looking, man, they better man up. That's all I can say. I hope the coach is ready because your team right now that you have is not the team of last year. Schroeder, unnecessary. They still don't have a point guard. Why would you let Rajon Rondo go, who's going to help the Clippers? And then you got Boogie Cousin, who's going to help the Clippers if he stays healthy. You see what I'm saying? So I don't see Utah is not a threat to me. Passive aggressive. All right, they're too young of a team. That's just my opinion. I love Jordan Clarkson. I love why the Lakers got rid of him. I guess because he was outspoken. He said what he felt. What he felt, man. I don't believe him. I don't. I'm not mad at him. And he should have done that. I love that 2 years ago when Kyle Kuzma pushed LeBron to play defense. You need those type of gritty, gutty players who are not scared. You know what I'm saying? They know they might lose, get kicked off the team, whatever. But look at Jordan Clarkson, the sixth man off the bench for the Jazz in the league. That's my opinion. Again, the comments and the things of this channel are solely about sports news and information, but they are Big J's opinion. So let's continue to talk. So what the Lakers need to do is they need to have a meeting, call a meeting right now. You know, it needs to be run by Jason Kidd. And Jason needs to get it. You know, Jason is that type of coach. Forget the other coach right now. Jason, take the meeting over. Get up in that butt, man, because right now they just dug a major hole for themselves. The Lakers dug a major hole. They would start the playoffs on the road. What were they thinking? Again, what were they thinking to start the playoffs on the road? We want to say thank you for listening to Big J. Let's talk. Do me a favor. Make sure that you like and subscribe to our channel. We're going to start doing more lives about all the games headed into the NBA playoffs. With 11 or 12 games left, it's time to take it to another level. All right. We want to keep the focus on these teams who are at the top tier. All right. Charlotte lost tonight again to Boston, which they beat 3 or 4 nights ago. So they lost. But the funny thing is Charlotte, and I had to segue for a minute. Charlotte, when they played Boston 3 or 4 days ago, hit 21 threes. Tonight, Terry was missing in action. Tonight, Miles Bridges were missing in action. And Devontae Graham was constantly turning the ball over. Someone said fatigue. Well, there are a lot of teams that play back-to-back. It's just all your mental state and your mental understanding. All right? But we need to talk to the Lakers because something's wrong. Something is wrong. I'm telling you. What say you? And I told people this in my last show. This is what I said. I said the Lakers are not the same team. I've had individuals bombard me saying, you know what? You don't know what you're talking about, Big J. They're going to win the championship, blah, 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 blah. Hey, listen to LeBron. Watch the video. Tonight after the game, he didn't shake anyone's hand. He didn't say anything to anyone. LeBron got up, walked through the tunnel, and was gone. AD sat on the bench by himself for a while, just looking in despair. You know why? Because now they have to start the playoffs on the road. They have to start the playoffs on the road. We're going to let you in if anybody wants to come in and talk about that game tonight because it was just ridiculous. You know, I don't know what's going on with KCP. He seems to be struggling. Something is not right. And the floor spacing is horrible. And we owe that to Andre Drummond. The floor spacing is horrible. And that's something that JaVale McGee did very well. So what I'm telling you is the Lakers starting on the road, 11 games to go. LeBron James will be back soon. It's going to take a while to develop chemistry. It's not the same team as it was last year. So in developing chemistry, I'm telling you, the Lakers will not win the championship this year. This is why I said it in my previous video, with all the things and disparities have changed on that team, the Lakers are in trouble. They killed Mr. Bubble. Mr. Bubble was the momentum that they had last year with the same team coming out of the bubble. You should have changed nothing. When the Lakers won in previous years, they didn't change anything. We brought Shaq back. We brought Kobe back. We brought Derek Fisher back. We brought Robert Ory back. Come on now. What was all the pieces and the movement for? You got worse. You didn't get better. Tonight, listen, you have not solidified the paint. And AD does not want to play the 5. He wants to play the 4. So you still have a problem. If you meet a big center with a big body who's going to give Andre Drummond a push, you're going to have a hard time. If you have a center that can space the floor, and this is what I was trying to tell everyone, if you have a center who can space the floor, they're in trouble. That's just my opinion, and that's what I believe. The Lakers are in trouble. Last year, it's not the same team. I'm telling you, when I watched LeBron James get up and walk through that tunnel without saying anything to anyone, I saw frustration. You know what he was frustrated about? Man, we got to start the game on the road. With the COVID-19 protocol, with everything that's going on, we got to start the game on the road. I wonder how he felt about that. We just won the championship last year, and now we don't even have home court advantage. So we might end up playing Denver in the Mile High, where the weather is going to be a factor, where the climate in the arena is going to be a factor, and with only 11 games to go to before we come back with LeBron James, is he really going to be in shape, basketball shape? Is he really going to be motivated? All those things matter. I'm telling you right now, if the Lakers lose one game, it's a problem. If they lose one game, it's a problem. So you know what? I was only coming on tonight just to say that we're going to start using and going live with StreamYard. Just as we want to do something a little bit different. All right. So we want to say thank you tonight for subscribing to our channel and being on with Big J. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Have a great one.